I'm going to do a quick review of AU and UC. I'm going to try to do my best to explain things very clearly for you guys. I don't consider myself to be the best teacher, but as I said, I'm going to try my best. If you have questions or you want clarifications on things, please leave those comments down below. So let's get started. So I'm going to start off with AU, and this is the same markup that I did earlier in the week. I have a video on that, and I'm basically just going to explain why I would have gotten into this trade, when and where, and if I would have gotten out early, etc., etc. So let's get into it. So this is a trend line here, and I mentioned earlier that it had point A, point B, and point C, which I will put that on here. Alright, so that way you guys can see it more clearly. So usually when you have a clear trend line like this and price makes a break, it is most likely going to retest all of these points. So last week the market broke the trend line and it retested very perfectly. This is also a support level here, a major psych level. And you can see that price bounced off of this area. And then it made this strong bullish candle here. Bullish means buy. And it was a very good candle indicating a buy was going to happen and the market was moving up because it closed all the way up here. It didn't give any wicks indicating that it may not be ready to go up there. However, you also want to be careful of this area too, which is why I have my entry above, because even though you have this strong candle here and it technically broke above the last structure, price could still go up here and fake you out. So it's better to just wait for it to clear this area. And as you can see, it went down here. However, it did not clear this last low. But if you would have gotten in, you may have been worried that price was going to reverse, and that would have not been good for your psychology. And then it gave us this candle here, and it went up. It did not clear this last high. However, price never went down below this last low either. And then once it broke above here, you could have gotten in. So this candle here was a pretty good candle to get in. Let's go down to the 1 hour and see what we have. So this looks very good. Price went into the entry zone, came back down, retested this level, and made structure and continued up. Now, when price got to this major psych level right here, this resistance area, it did start to struggle. So this would have been a good area to either take full profit or take partial profit. And let's see how many pips this is. So from there to entry, that would have been about 80, 85 pips. And that is pretty good. Now let's go to the 4 hour. Now, a good indication that this move was still going to go up was this candle closure here. Again, it closed all the way at the top, only leaving a very tiny wick. So that's a good indication that price was still going to go up. And then it broke above this psych level here and retested point A. So there you go. That's that. Let's look at it on the daily. And another indication, I don't know where my moving averages are. I just noticed that. But anyway, another good indication that this was still going to be a buy is if you look at the big picture on the daily, price had broke this level here. It was kind of going back and forth. It was consolidating. So it had broke through this consolidation level, went all the way up here. Now with all of this momentum, price has to come back down and correct itself. And from here, it made what we call a higher low. This is a lower low. This is a higher low. And now price is continuing up, and it will most likely continue a uptrend, but we will have to see. So now let's go to UC. I'm going to go down to a 4-hour. And again, this is the same markup that I had earlier in the week. Oh, also let me go back to AU. I want to also mention that when I first did the markup, price did not have any structure, so this was the last structure. So this is why, please excuse my dog. This is why my stop loss is here. However, once it made this structure, you could very safely move your stop loss here because you don't want to have too much of a big stop loss. So that gave us a good 1 to 2.7, which is really great. And then actually once price made this candle here, let's get on to the 1 hour. You could have moved your stop loss here as well if you're going to stay into the trade. So going back to UC. So I made this markup earlier in the week, and price had broken this support level here, and it made a nice lower low, came up, made a higher, a lower high, and then it came down into our buy zone here. So the reason why you want to have your entry zone here is because this is the last structure that was made. So if price does not break this level, it's possible that it could reverse and go up. And at that point, you would have waited for it to break this high. So let's go down to the 1 hour. So price made this double top here. It went up, tested this level, couldn't break it, came back down, went up and tried again and still could not break it. So that's a good indication as well that this is going to be a sell. Came down, gave you this candle here, which would have been an okay candle to get in on. And at the time, your stop loss would have been up here. So price came down, went back up to make structure, never broke here, and then it continued to push down. And I want to mention that sometimes when you see candles like this, which this could be, I believe the pattern is called a tweezer bottom, something like that. Anyway, when you see this candle kind of overtake this last candle here, it may make you think that price is going to reverse. However, that's why it's important to wait for it to go past the last structure that was made. Until then, you can still be sure that your markup is going in the right direction, okay? And that's also why it's good not to always be on the chart looking when you place a trade, because it's going to do things like that, but they don't necessarily mean anything. It's just making structure. And I mentioned earlier in the week that this level here would have been a great area to either take partial profit or take full profit. And I believe that is about 50 pips from entry. So let's see, about 60. So that's pretty good. So again, once price made more structure, you can safely move your stop loss down. And that gives us a pretty much 1 to 3.6. And I also want to mention that sometimes I like to leave a little bit of room from that structure because a lot of times price may go past it a little bit and then it'll come back down and close down here. So you don't want to have your stop loss like right on it because you're going to be pissed off when it pings you out and then continues to go down in the same direction. So price came to the support level of this major cycle level 1.32 and bounced off and made more structure. And you could have gotten out, which a lot of times that will play on people's psychology when you see markets starting to hesitate. But again, once it gives you all of this momentum, it has to correct itself, make a little structure before it continues down. And it did. It pretty much made a double top here and gave you a strong push to TP. So that's pretty much it. That's all I have for you guys. I hope you liked it. And again, when you look at the bigger picture, this just made a lower high. So that's why it's important to pay attention to all of your time frames. And that's that. I hope I was able to explain that well for you guys. Again, I don't really consider myself a teacher because I feel like the way that I understand things a lot of times is not the way that the average person understands things. But anyway, I hope you guys liked it. Please leave some comments down below and I will see you guys next time.